Quick one. I want you to think about this for a moment. How is it possible that NNPC made a profit of 3 trillion naira plus? Profit of 3 trillion naira. And they still have to pay for fuel subsidy. How is it possible? Nigeria owns NNPC. At least the government of the federation has controlling shares. So if Nigeria owns NNPC and NNPC makes a profit of over 3 trillion naira in 2023, how is it possible that Nigeria paid or owes or must pay for fuel subsidy? How? Let's take a look at this analysis. I am a father. I own a restaurant. Solely, I am the sole owner of a restaurant. My children eat from the restaurant. The restaurant ends up making a profit of 1 trillion naira at the end of the year. After all their revenues and expenses, the restaurant makes a profit of 1 million naira. Not minding the fact that my children feed from the restaurant. I have 4 children, they feed from the restaurant. You all know that the responsibility of taking care of the welfare of the board of directors of any company is borne by the company. And that includes feeding, that includes school fees, that includes all of that. Now, having fed my children out of the running costs of the restaurant makes a profit of 1 million naira. Then somebody now turns around and says, sir, as the owner of the company, we fed your family with 500,000 naira. We were subsidizing the feeding for your family. We subsidized it with 500,000 naira. So instead of giving you this profit of 1 million naira that we made, we need to do net off. We need to do net off. So what we'll do is we will not give you the 1 million naira. We will only give you 500,000 naira because we spent 500,000 naira to feed your children. Is it becoming clear now? This is what NNPC is telling us as Nigerians. The responsibility of the welfare of the directors of the company, of any company, is borne by the expenses of that company. Yes, it's legitimate, it's allowed. That is why you have the people who work for any agencies, the top management, they call them the directors, right? They give them allowances for generator, they give them allowances for house, they give them allowances for cars, they give them allowances for fuel, give them allowances for even domestic staff. Government agencies, not to not talk of private companies, all expenses are covered by the company. According to Kama, they are covered by the company. Now you have a company, it's a restaurant. The restaurant operates, it makes money, and then takes care of the expenses of your children, their feeding, up to the tune of 500,000. And then at the end of the year, the company makes a profit of 1 million naira after netting off expenses from income. And then it tells you that, oh, you as the owner, you still have to pay for your children's feeding to the company. And then the company will now say it has the power to refuse to give you your 1 million naira profit because it must deduct the amount of food that your children ate as subsidy. Does it make sense? And this information is lying before our very eyes. in plain sight. I won't even call it hiding in plain sight. It is there for everybody to see. On the one hand, NNPC claims they made a profit of over 3 trillion naira after all their revenues and after all their expenses or expenditure, revenue and expenditure account. So after all the monies that came into NNPC and after all the costs that they incurred in making those monies, NNPC is able to make a profit of over 3 trillion naira. And then somebody is talking about a subsidy that must be paid, which is like asking the man, the owner of the restaurant, to pay for the food that the children ate. Does it make sense? The chief financial officer of the NNPC was right. NNPC does not pay fuel subsidy. But I find it hard to believe when I still see people who call themselves oil and gas experts go on national TV and they are driving this agenda of the IMF and World Bank that fuel subsidy is back. And right now they have taken it up a notch. They are saying, oh, upon the recommendation of the IMF and World Bank, for Nigeria to be productive, we need to remove fuel subsidy again. And that means what Tinubu did in 2023, he has to do it now. And what was it? The price of fuel has to now go up to 1,300, 1,500 naira per liter. That's what they are planning. Unless we do something, they will get away with it. And what is it that we can do? A lot. Many people do not understand why Dangote is coming out with all this sabotage thing. He's coming out with all this sabotage thing to lay the foundation for the selling of his fuel when he starts. I don't believe he has started. Many people claim that, oh, he's selling diesel now, he's refining diesel, but he will start selling fuel or refining fuel in July. From July, it went to August. From August, it's now September. We are now being told that by mid-September, Dangote refinery will start refining PMS, petrol. But now it's only diesel. And I ask a question. Fractional distillation. How is it possible that you are able to refine diesel without refining naphtha, without refining petrol, without refining liquefied petroleum gas, without refining bitumen? How is it possible? Fractional distillation, which remains the only process that refineries use to separate the different components of crude oil, does not allow you as a refinery to be able to refine diesel without refining petrol. So if Dangote says it's refining diesel now, but later it will refine petrol, it is a lie. And all this propaganda that, oh, somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage Dangote, the international oil companies are trying to sabotage Dangote, that is another lie. Because, ask yourselves this question, who do you think owns Dangote? The $20 billion investment, Dangote refineries, who do you think owns it? With all the billions that NNPC claimed they made as investment into it, we are told now that it's just 7%. So the remaining 93% of Dangote refinery, who owns it? Look behind the curtain. He will not tell us that. You will find out that the IOCs are owners through some IFCs, some connections, International Investment Bank, DG, Development Group. You will find them there. I challenge Dangote to open his books and tell us who his shareholders are, if it is not the IOCs. So this whole sabotage propaganda, it's a lie. It is all targeted at creating the groundwork for Dangote to sell his petrol when he eventually starts refining at 1,300, 1,500 naira per liter. That's what it's targeted at. You heard when the rumor came that Dangote will start selling fuel now in August. August has ended, though. This is September. and they will sell at 600 naira per liter. Did you see the quick response of Dangote refineries to that? They put out a notice saying that that was fake news, that it was not true. I am waiting for those of you who say that Dangote is acting in the interest of Nigeria. I am waiting for when Dangote starts to sell his petrol and sells it below NNPC price. I'm waiting. I am waiting. For those of you who say that Dangote is working in the interest of Nigeria, I am waiting. And you see, that is even so wrong a narrative. So wrong a narrative in the sense that if Dangote makes his profit, will he give it to Nigerians? If Dangote refines his petrol, will he sell it to Nigeria free or sell it to Nigeria at reduced price? Will he? So if he will not sell it to Nigerians at reduced price and he will not give his profit to Nigerians, how is Dangote's refinery in Nigeria's interest? How? Dangote refinery is located in a free trade zone area, meaning it's in a country of his own. The distillates he is at liberty to sell and ship international. And why do you think that Dangote was gifted a Lekki deep sea port? I think it was a gift to Dangote, close to him, so that he can move things out easily and make his profit. So all of these, whether it is the Dangote refineries, whether it is the NNPC, they are all acting against the interest of Nigerians. But the one that is the most painful one is the one of the NNPC. And people who go out there to drive this propaganda that somehow fuel subsidy is back, that somehow the federal government is paying fuel subsidy. It is so annoying to think about it that you have people who are renowned analysts, who are acclaimed oil and gas experts, still coming to drive this narrative. Even when NNPC has come out to say, we are not paying fuel subsidy. We have never paid fuel subsidy. And NNPC has come out to tell you that we made a profit of 3 trillion in 2023. And then you are not saying that the federal government still must approve payment. It is all corruption. So what do we need to do? We can't keep shouting like this. This information is to empower you to begin to come up with petitions and freedom of information requests that we must make to NNPC. Petitions that we must write to EFCC and ICPC and even to the Ministry of Finance, and also freedom of information requests that we must write to the Ministry of Finance and to NNPC. Nigerians must brace up for possible increase in the pump price of petrol and take action. If not, the hardship that we're experiencing now will be child's play. And don't forget, we need to change all of these people eventually. We cannot keep making complaints and coming up with solutions and expecting the same people who are responsible for the rottenness of the system to be the same one to implement the solutions. They cannot. They are benefiting from it. It is not in their interest to fix it. So we need to get them out and get new set of people in. People who will be dedicated and committed to ensuring that the rottenness is removed and that Nigeria is put on the path of industrialization, of production, of progress, of prosperity, and indeed of abundance. Click the link to join the Abundance Party today. It's in the description.